Hey, what's up? Good evening. This is Dr. Roland and Dr. Shashi here from the Sky Clinic, and we will start commencing in the next couple of minutes in regards to unlocking the pandemic, understanding what you are told, the truth, the lies,
the unnecessary fear put in you,
exactly.
Causing unnecessary anxiety. I had enough of this.
Okay, so this is going to be technically with a lot of medical backing, scientific understanding of what's going on,
and basically a lot of logic involved in this. That means not blindly following, but questioning.
Whether you can go and nikah and it's okay, and whether you can cross state, whether it's singles can go out, whether families can go out. All of these kind of things has been happening in this country. There are good things, there are bad things. We're going to look into an overall picture of whether certain things was right, certain things was wrong, and clearly whatever that we are sharing, we are independent of. This is purely perhaps ourselves would have experienced during this pandemic. I think we've been through a lot of screenings. We've been through seeing positive patients,
Yes.
what we saw, whether the data that you're seeing on TV, was it the real data today or data that was delayed telecast to you. These are the things that we're going to talk. So this is purely independent of any individual organization. It's purely us.
Based on what we've seen, what we've experienced.
Correct.
Yeah, based on that, that's all.
Okay, so is the streamline good? I think that side they have a couple of people. Aizat, on your side, people are on the view at the moment. So we're going to start a bit with saying that I think our country, Malaysia itself, I think has gone a long way. I think this is going to be what we're going to almost reach about 80 days. 80 over days.
We're almost at the third month, almost 80 plus days.
Days on the lockdown.
On the lockdown. Limited lockdown, PKPB, PKP. We are closing in on 3 months,
Yep.
which is 90 days.
So that's quite a long time of being on lockdown. I think there are countries who are even badly hit by the lockdown has already had their lockdowns removed.
Yes.
And how long we're going to go on this?
That's my question.
It's a big question that we're going to ask. But I think I'm going to start with saying that as a country, we did a good job as of now in terms of bringing the numbers down, because the reason why the numbers are kept down is simply in order not to choke our healthcare system. It's
Yes.
not to bring the numbers to zero.
You can never achieve 0 cases of anything, any infectious disease, and then you say you want to go out after that.
Exactly.
It's no brainer.
Exactly. So that's one thing. I think in terms of the public health efforts, community efforts, I think the country as whole coming and agreeing for the first MCO to then the altered MCO, the PKP and then the PKPB,
Yes.
all of this has been a huge success in bringing that. Of course, we're seeing a couple of numbers still. I think yesterday was 20. Let's hope that the
Yes.
numbers in an hour's time
That's
would be low.
That's as much as you're going to see. So you are not aiming for 0, then the next day we go out, because we will tell you why that doesn't work, and defined to your country, confined to your space, but this is global.
We'll answer those questions alongside when the questions pop out. I think there's one question already coming out, but I think we'll go into deep understanding what's going on at this moment. So first thing, I think the biggest thing we're seeing is, okay, we brought the numbers down. I think yesterday was 20. You have to understand there's a quite a decent number of import cases. Import cases meaning that Malaysians living abroad,
Who came back?
most likely, I think certain high countries with high positive number of COVID cases, for example like Singapore, they're coming back to Malaysia, they are
Or
found
Europe.
positive,
Yeah. So they came back
and they are locked down and kept in isolation.
quarantine and isolation.
So they
that's
are
what
not in the expose of outside people, so they do not create this unnecessary
Unnecessary
cluster.
clusters
So the cluster is in, call it the cluster kayangan.
So it's closed cluster.
Okay, and then we also have the party or the pendatang asing tanpa izin, those people who do not have documents and who were seen as positive. So seeing them as positive is a question to also understand in terms of the state. Where have and how have we allowed people to live in this kind of
In an
clusters?
illegal cluster
in these
state?
clusters. How were this not legislated along this way for a long time? How do they meloloskan diri, I would say, from enforcement? And now when something like this comes, they're not rats, but you have allowed people to live in this cramped kind of environment. And now when they become like a super spreader among their communities, now we see it as a national problem.
Problem because you have to see cara diorang hidup ni, it's like in close quarters, almost in a place where only fit for 10 atau lesser people, ada 30 orang lebih je.
So kau bayangkan in like one pangsa puri, like there are 40-50 people living in, ada the double deck beds sharing the same
hygiene dia
bathroom.
semakin kurang.
Bukan nak kata these people are having poor hygiene, because if you're living in that kind of small environment, exactly, you're going to have that lot of this claustrophobic and easy cross contamination of viruses,
contact,
of bacteria, or even skin infection. It's simply to pass over, as simple as that can even pass on. So these things, of course, we have to leave it to the immigration, the government. So even if they were doing serbuan or stuff like that, I still feel that is the right decision, because if you are having illegal immigrants who do not have proper documents in this country, by the laws of the country, you have all the rights. So certain human rights activists are saying that, oh, this is wrong, this is but you have to understand that, would you allow this to happen under the law of the country? Can you come in and
no, you can't. But the thing is, now I would say that at this point, more than the law, being a human and treating them first is the first thing. Of course, I agree with the Human Rights Council on that. But then, on the long run, you see all this, when you close your eyes, has happened. So from now on, once this has settled down, in future, make it better. That's
exactly.
all.
And in fact, that's a good standpoint from KKM itself. They said that, look, even though they are illegal, they are still humans, and we need to still treat them, even though they are having a positive COVID case. So they are still treated as a human.
You see, I would still say that they do the work that most Malaysians don't do. So I would say that is a backbone industry. Dia orang ni memang penting. Most of these benda yang dia buat, Malaysians tak buat. So these kind of jobs, legalize these people who are coming in. I mean, have a more legal stream of people coming in. That's it. Itu long term lah. That's one thing.
So next thing is, I think the biggest thing that we're seeing is like now the restriction of people's movement. Whether wearing mask, it's going to be something that is really going to break down the chain, because I think maybe Shashi will want to explain a bit more on this.
Okay, so this is the question that I have, because I always ask question logic. I think we always do that. So initially, there was, even by WHO, there was like, no, this is not spread by airborne, so you don't have to use a mask. Then after that, use a mask. Then after that, don't use a mask. Then use a mask. So many U-turns that have gone through. All right. And when I was driving, when I'm driving on the street, what I'm seeing, apa yang saya tengok, kiri kanan. Okay, kalau you Grab driver, Uber driver, okay, ada passenger, taxi driver, no problem. Use your mask. But if you're driving alone, my question to ask people is, kenapa you pakai mask driving seorang? Kebanyakan, anyone, I'm not just saying, I think most of you dah nampak. If you're on the street, you're driving, tengah bawa kereta, kiri kanan mesti driving seorang-seorang pakai mask. Kalau bukan Grab car driver, you're using your mask alone. And this one answer that people get me is, kereta I kotor. Okay, logic. Next question I. You want to know why? You got to ask the next question. Next question you tanya. So this is my question. You ask, why you wearing alone? The car is dirty. So dia tak melekat kat baju ke? So you're going to tell me that it's not going to stick to your baju. Okay, just say this is sticking. This is quite a heavy virus. It's going to stick to your clothes or whatever. Lepas tu you nak balik rumah. You balik rumah, sorry to say, you're not going to take out your clothes outside the house and go in. You're going to go into your house. When you're going into your house, what if this thing drops on the floor or spreads? You're not going to clean your house every time. So, if you ask me to debunk this whole thing, when you're driving alone, please do not use your mask. I feel it's just totally unlogic. Question logic. Okay?
That is almost like everybody's wearing PP and going on. See, when we do COVID-19 screenings and stuff, we have to be full gear. The reason why we are having a full gear is because when we are doing a swab into the nasal
And
cavity
you
or
are
oral
exposed
cavity.
to this nasal and oral what do you call this? Breath and saliva.
Aromatization of the particles. All of this can happen. So when we wear protective gear, the reason why is because they might cough, they might sneeze, and they will actually spread this to us and pass it around. So that's why we wear. So if you're wearing mask, if you are insecure, I think it's now becoming a mental issue. If you're insecure, if you think you are perpetually having cough or running nose or any symptom like that, then okay, please wear. You need to have, if you're having fever, you need to wear those kind of
If you have symptoms, basically.
symptoms. And if you are paranoid, I think this is the biggest thing to challenge. You are paranoid about the public. You are paranoid because you do not trust your own society. This is going to be the big challenge. This is going to be a big mental challenge because you do not trust your peers. You do not trust your society that you can be infected by everyone. Everyone is a contaminated contaminated.
So this is the point where we go back to, you can't achieve zero to go out without a mask. It's not going to make sense. Okay, guys, this is where we're going to come to a point where we are going to go to what Sweden did earlier. Fact, we are going to rely on either vaccines or herd immunity. That's all. We're going to reach the same number fast sooner or later. And question again, how many people who have actually lost their life or died because of COVID-19 have had other underlying comorbidities?
And this is something that you can see always in the PCs by KKM themselves. They will say the person died and what are the comorbidities.
Yes.
So they usually have like hypertension, diabetes, or they have lung illnesses, a history of smoking. All of this shows there is a coincide to have an infection.
And they were the ones who were most adversely affected this golongan saja.
So if you do not belong to this segment of people, if you do not think that you are high risk of infection, the only thing that you're worried now is whether if you get positive, you will be quarantined. So I think again that goes back to another. So if you think that you're paranoid, you want to live in, I call the astronaut suit in weeks to come, please wear your astronaut suit.
Because that's the absolute way. Because if you want to go all out, or if you don't go, don't go. That's
because
it.
at one point when herd immunity comes in, you will be exposed.
You'll be exposed.
And even based on a lot of the data and all the search from the findings that we have on like vaccine, a lot of scientists are saying that they're going to have a long time to actually discover a vaccine for this. And you got to go back, because you got to go back to the history of pandemics in the past 20 years. You've seen SARS. If SARS was a big issue, there were a decent amount of people who actually have died. Why didn't any of these countries look to actually develop a vaccine first? Because is the R0 dropped immediately? See, we had an R0 now from 2 to 3 and now claim that the R0 in Malaysia is reaching almost 0.03. 0.03. So are we going to say that the R0 cannot go up? If the R0 can go up, the R0 can come down and the R0 can go up again. So these things, you do not get to see all of this kind of discussion on TV, because in TV they only ask you whether
fear inducing.
Yes.
Mass fear inducing. Live in fear, and you don't know what. The thing is, people are going to ask me how many studies you have. You're going to put a bunch of people into fear and make studies out of it. No brainer, guys. Again, question logic.
So it's again coming down to but debunking mask. We got to see that how much of how long you're going to wear this, and in fact, in terms of the scientific perspective, we've clearly seen that when we did not have enough of masks in the early onset of February and May, the idea was to make sure the frontliners had enough masks.
Yes.
That was necessary at that point, and then now mask is available. Everybody feels that this is you have to be part of society wearing this mask.
You even saw someone washing their mask and using
in fact, I've even seen in one of the housing areas, someone was actually washing and hanging the mask outside the house. So reusable. So these are the things. How affordable can you get? Are you changing your mask every day? Because you must understand that there are so many other particles in the mask that can actually be trapped inside other kinds of bacteria. So if you keep exposing this kind of because when you breathe, there's a lot of humidity deposit.
Going to be trapped inside.
It could be some particles also being deposited in the mask, and you can be infected by other kinds of illnesses also that happen. So if you are having the exposure to, using a lot of masks, please make sure you buy one or use one every at least 8 or 10 hours, and you need to change your mask. If you're going to use one mask and keep in your pocket, and then you do not know which part that you have contacted, whether this side you touch. So even though someone spit on your face, I'm just being a bit sarcastic, you will touch it and then you will spread it to yourself. So don't think that wearing mask is just
don't wear mask to be accepted by society.
Exactly, that's it. Point blank.
Don't just wear the mask to be accepted society.
But it's becoming a problem because in order for you to get access to a lot of centers, like I just realized that you need to wear masks in LRT, you need to wear masks going into certain banks, you need to wear a lot of these things. So I hope that this kind of companies also provide the facility of having this kind of masks and not denying people from their own public life, because it doesn't come intact with whatever even the guidelines set by ministry. Ministry said mask if you feel insecure, you wear. So you're putting unnecessary lockdowns. Soon people will also unlock themselves.
See, it comes down to another point where this is my own personal experience where I had to go into it's not a very big shopping complex, but they have food outlets inside. Okay, so to go into this food mall, I had to wear a mask. They didn't allow me without a mask in. Here comes the funny part. I'm going to go and eat inside. They have distanced the tables and all those. And at that point when I'm eating, I can take out my mask. How funny is this? How absolutely no-brainer is this? You have to go into the mall wearing a mask. If you're going to eat there, you can take out the mask. So at this point, we have another agreement with coronavirus where it says, hey, when you take out the mask when you're eating, I'm not going to infect you. Same as the lift. This is the same thing, which doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, we have to understand something. There is a point where you will actually break the chain. The idea was to break the chain as much as you can. But how much do you want to keep breaking the chain?
Hello.
So you have to have a certain standoff. Okay, I think we've broken the chain.
Go back.
The job done is done, because you must know one thing. People. The people who are dependent on ventilator in all facilities in the country, there's only 2 people as of yesterday. Let's hear maybe today and see what's what happens. Only 2 people are dependent on ventilators. But you do not know how many people who are having actually other kinds of problems, who now need to get into the hospital, get treatments.
Someone's asking me, how come Singapore's numbers are higher than ours, and it's not true. We'll get to that. So
I think there's maybe we can answer a couple of questions from the.
Okay, the question of how our numbers are low is we'll come up with that. Don't worry.
Okay, so is there any answer question from here? So far, there's no comments on
Volume.
I think the volume is still okay. Okay, let's just get back. Let's get back to the. Well, we covered the lockdown. We covered zone distancing at the moment. Now next we need to look at how much of movement control can we do. The movement control at the moment, I think still we have to understand that we had a couple of issues to unleash the lockdown too. We were unable to unleash the lockdown too early because we had Hari Raya, we had Kawai, Kaamatan and everything. So festive season, so they're going to have too much of individual contact.
At that point, I agree that kalau kita tak tutup, then it will just be mass spreading.
If you had a super spreader, then you would have an issue at the point.
Again, overlook kita punya healthcare system. So that's the problem.
But at the moment, so far, our healthcare system is unloaded.
Yes, it's a safe load. We
Unloaded.
don't want to burden it unnecessarily. That's one thing. So that is the point.
So I just see that most likely to be by the next couple of days, there could be a lot of easing out. A lot of segments people need to go and cut hair. People need to go to the saloons.
The city is back to normal basically.
People need to move to they need to go to the gyms and stuff. So
please open up the gyms.
And there is a lot of other issues that maybe you do not see from the perspective of psychological aspect post pandemic. You're going to see a lot, especially with wearing mask, too much of social distancing. You have to understand that humans are such a communicative and social species.
Yeah.
And when you do not have this and all you have is just Zoom and Zoom and Zoom and live podcast and live movement, what you will see in the long run is you will lose a lot of human touch and people
that
have
can
depression.
Affect you psychologically a lot because you are built to be someone else, but then you are being told to be something else. So
you will have a lot of issues of depression, socializing issues, especially if we're looking at kids and stuff like that, whether they get back to school, how fast they can go back to school, and all of these issues. So yes, again, there is fear of the virus spreading and stuff, but you have to face the fact of you got to understand your inner self, whether it's your health is good, your immunity is good or not. And this is something that we never seen any media
covering about your immunity at all, from BBC, CNN to our local.
Yeah, all of it is just put fear.
It's at this much right now. Your question is, when can I go out? They are telling you can't go out. You have a mask. It's all just fear based. Not giving you things which actually empower you and make you stronger and feel better. No such thing.
So how and how they actually cipher information or give you information online, or even from the Facebook. We saw the mishandling of social media, where social media themselves take dominance of they are the original source, appointed source. So we only have to use sources from like WHO as the mark point, or certain government bodies as the mark point of content delivery. But some of them were actually very late, and the way the information is spread is it's a way to make you fearful. For example, why are we still looking at numbers that are 7,000 every day, telling the cumulative number of 7,000? So you have to actually
potong lah yang dah
yeah,
macam
the settle
orang yang
is
dah
already settled.
Potong
So
minus.
showing these numbers of like, oh, there's 7,000 cases, 100,000, 1 million case in US.
Case daripada 3 bulan lalu. So dalam 7,000 ni is daripada yang 3 bulan lalu pun ada, tapi dia nak balik rumah, dah lepak, dah settle, everything.
Exactly.
Still include them inside.
So this cumulative number is a fear tactic number used. So you're saying that, oh, there's 1.8 million cases in US, there's 100,000 people died. Fine, understand, but you must understand that how many people actively we are seeing in the wards. How many people admitted, how many people are critical. Even one interesting thing was shared by one of our public healthcare specialist colleagues, who said that they are not gauging how many people actually appear to be symptomatic. That means on the spot now, how many people when a screen positive. What we are seeing that we're doing is going around and saying there's a new cluster, all of these symptoms and issues. These are the things that information that you are seeing in the TV or in the media is tactical numbers to put you to fear. Because you see, all you see is, there are 4.6 million people in the world who got positive. Yeah, but how many people of them were positive but showed absolutely no signs?
Yes.
This is the data that we need to.
How many people actually positive didn't show signs, and how many people who are positive and showed which signs and symptoms? So you can pinpoint to which is the most accurate sign or more specific sign. Because now when you go to a building, everyone's going to shoot tembak.
Yeah, and
tak pernah ada orang yang demam and anything like that. Tapi does that mean that initially when they're doing, semua orang ni negative, not tested, something? What if
and if you want to talk about like doing PCR tests, IgM, antigen tests, we could spend another 2-3 hours discussing about this, because even that there were many ting tongs that happened in our
mutants.
First
boleh, then tak boleh, then boleh again because we are low on PCR. Maybe next 2 weeks tak boleh lagi.
And another one more thing is sometimes whatever numbers sometimes you are seeing on the official platforms, that doesn't mean that the numbers were done yesterday
or today
or 2 days ago or 3 days ago. Sometimes these numbers can be even late as 7 or 8 days because of the volume of screening that they've done. Because you have to understand that not every country have similar screening
uh,
screening modules.
modules and also the downturn, how many labs you have, how fast they can come back with the results, all those is varies depending on the countries as well.
So that is something that you must understand. That, oh, how come US have so much of case? How come Malaysia don't have? How come Singapore has a lot of case? I think that one question is why is Singapore
Has more
has a lot
cases
of
than
cases.
and also that's how Singapore does their screening. Is it on the day active or like us, which is probably like 7 to 8 days turnover because they have to send it to the lab. By the time the lab hantar balik result tu, you take at
It's
least 7
very,
days.
very
So
different.
whatever yang you guys tengok hari ni dalam news, it could be from last week. So that's the other thing.
That's very, very different.
So-
So that is something in terms of the screening things that you might not see. I mean, coming to the point of vaccine, whether it's going to be coming up soon, I think that you have to understand that we don't know when something like this can come up. Maybe the first clinical trials have
They've already
been doing testing.
Yeah.
Some have failed, some have succeeded, and if you see that whether is there any agenda to vaccinate people into a mass scale form, it could be seen like that at the moment, but we do not know whether there's a huge agenda to vaccinate people in terms of having like this vaccine passport, or for COVID-19 you are screened. But one funny thing that I realized along this time is the countries that actually have the highest amount of vaccination
Are the ones who actually regularly vaccinate.
yeah, exactly. So it makes me wonder. Maybe I'm not a virologist or a vaccine expert, but it makes me wonder that why countries that are highly vaccinated. I think, to be honest, US, UK,
Every year they
Germany
get a few
would have been the
vaccination shots and all those,
country
yeah.
that has the highest
Yang paling banyak,
vaccination.
tak tahu.
Are they screening from the PCR or testing that they are finding some other particles of viruses that are sort of co-matching?
Attenuated viruses. But then they
That-
never
that-
had anything before with coronavirus, so that's
I mean, you had the SARS and the MERS-CoV. These are the
MERS-CoV,
these are the-
yes.
And in fact, even on that onset, I wish that there's already a steadfast approach of like they're already doing certain studies to get the vaccines out.
rolling out.
Yeah, on the
So how we can
first
hear
phase.
on Facebook, harap-harap it's quite because some of you complain the
Voice
volume
not-
is a bit of a problem. I hope you all can hear right now because I think Facebook we have a direct speaker going. At least Instagram is a bit further down.
Okay. That is one thing. Whether we have a vaccine agenda, I do not know. But one interesting thing on Europe, which the study of population, we kind of see that a lot of countries who have a population of above certain age have higher
An increased number of
yeah,
that.
because
That's
the population statistic is such. For example, Italy, Germany
Old people-
have a higher number
of
of
people who are
old
above
population.
50 years old or 60
Yeah.
years old.
Whether or not this is a depopulation agenda, I cannot comment on that. But we can see a trend for those those countries who have a higher elder population.
I can say that is basically what I feel it's related to immunity. Weaker immune system, older age, comorbids, heart disease and all those. So that's probably what I feel it's most inclined to. And of course they are the ones who are most affected. And even that, if you look at it, I think the statistics of that is showing more towards the people who are above 60 years old most.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
so
one thing.
that's why we can see that. So moving forward, there are good debates of countries, for example, like I think who did not take the decision of having a lockdown to crash their economy, whether domestic
Taiwan.
or export. Taiwan.
Anyway, Taiwan is not even a member of WHO. Can you imagine World Health Organization not recognizing a country? I have a lot of questions to ask, but then
I'm still not a fan of WHO lah, because I feel that
if you are someone who cares for humanity as a whole, I don't think you want to exclude any country based on any other country's foreign policy.
exactly.
That's it.
And if you
All
look,
humans are same.
and if you look at the perspective of post World War II, I mean, we are seeing now a communicable disease event that has happened in the past 6 months, I would say. But how about a non-communicable disease? They've never
Lockdown itself from eating carbs
exactly.
causes you a lot of diabetes.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine a shutdown, no flour sold
No
for next
sugar.
3 months. You know how many people will lose weight? how much of diabetes should have recovered, how many people would not need maybe heart surgery. You will definitely see those kind of numbers. Maybe they even reduce the methane production on Earth. So only when something like this they decided, oh, let's go on this lockdown and stuff like that. Some of it.
We have had this before, even on a bigger scale. Don't forget H1N1 2009. There are more people who died at this point of stage in this amount of time as compared to coronavirus.
Said it. And when you look into countries like Sweden, who did not take the route, example like Taiwan. Taiwan maybe had an early
initiative, and then they were like very fast to go back down, out of lockdown. Nothing much.
And then you also see like certain countries like Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, not even almost having
2 weeks of lockdown probably. That's it.
And that's it. And they were back to their.
They are back to normal now as we speak. Most of them are back to normal. Only thing not normal is international travel, which I agree. No international travel for
at this moment. It's going to take a long time for international travel to take place. I would say. And when coming back to like countries like Sweden, many people were to measure like, the death is 10,000, 12,000. So what are you all doing?
We're just reaching there slowly. They reach faster.
Exactly. So it's just like in herd immunity style also. Once you start opening the economy, because you cannot crash. To what extent can you crash? Because trust me, there are a couple of industries that are already smashed to the bottom. Travel industry is bust.
Tourism is definitely
bust. Hotel industries are gone. Airlines. Flight. You're talking about even like oil and gas having a kickback, the lowest price of oil ever you've seen.
Yes.
So
because largest consumers are flight agents, and they're not using. Most flights are grounded, so they're not using fuel.
And also the amount of people do not move.
More traveling.
So you're seeing a lot of these things that are lost. So who will be going to be responsible for this? Are we going to come back in 3 years or 5 years and sue governments for a wrong decision that you're making, because the outcome of
it's always going to be like, you know what, we cared for you, we cared for your safety, and we did this, and now we are having a problem with the economy because whatever you're doing right now in this 2 to 3 months, it's going to affect you in the next coming years, between 7 to 8 years.
And one thing talking about that, I just want to jump into a bit of what nations are doing. They also have like a political agenda coming in where they want. This is the best way to introduce
chaos.
Not chaos. Police states. That means the more they can restrict people, the more they can command. They are moving into digitalized tracking. They can actually control people's movement, whether online, whether on data safety and data protection. Imagine every single time you walk into a mama shop, a bank, grocery store, you divulge all major informations to them, from name, telephone number, and of all of it, medical information, your body temperature, and it was fine to you. But if you were to be stolen from a hospital
or clinic data, then the clinic or hospital will be sued.
For that. So under PDPDA, under Personal Data Protection Act. But today, not even one person came out to talk about PDPDA, because you just felt that you feel you were so threatened, you were throwing out your data information, and nobody protects it. Nobody talked about it. I've never seen that all this information is, this is a certified PDPDA center, that all this data is confidential.
No.
Yeah, no. So
you still get random calls from, even with the PDPA, you still dapat random call daripada bank mana entah nak bagi loan mana entah, all these things with the PDPA, with nak bagi information.
And nobody even has this setup. Okay, fine. If I see someone that is 38 degrees, what am I going to do?
What's the next call? What's the next shot?
I mean, sometimes I even go outside. Like, so if I temperature 38, apa you nak buat?
And one more thing.
And the way people
and the people are measuring you, that day I kena 37. So what? You don't even know the normal body temperature, and these people are shooting you. Okay, this is their job. Panicking at 37, sir, I'll shoot you again. What is the logic of shooting me again in another 2 to 3 seconds? If it goes higher by 0.1 or 0.2 degrees Celsius, what are you going to do?
You got just stressed out.
Yeah, the lady was like unnecessarily stressing her. I was like, madam, it's okay, don't worry. Until 37.6 or 8 is still okay. That's like sub-febrile. It's not even febrile yet. So I just walked out from the hot sun, no problem. Lepas tu dia, oh iya ke?
And sometimes you must understand that most of the temperature screening is done under the air codes. You know the air codes, you go into the shopping center and you go into all this supermarket thing, the breeze is like just blowing on your face.
And they record 35 degrees Celsius is okay.
And they say, oh,
I'm a
35
dead
degrees.
man. At 35 degrees Celsius, I'm a dead man.
No, 32, I'm frozen. They excavated me from there.
This is all down to the same cause of you not questioning why and questioning logic.
Right.
Just doing just because everyone doing it.
So
Just wearing whatever just because to be accepted society acceptance. That's it.
So these are a lot of the funny things. I see, gone are the days that now the doctors check your temperature, security guards take temperature now. Change. We are going to resign
I never
soon.
thought that the security guard's going to take my temperature.
Yeah. So in fact, like, see who's giving them the proper education, who's developing an SOP for this, who is making sure that the data protection is there. Because trust me, if you give me the amount of temperatures that I'm seeing outside there, the amount of data, you know what I can do? I can do so many things.
So that's
Yeah, because even temperature can actually determine your excitation, your mood, your energy. All of this information can actually be picked up. And
guys, just because you don't know this information can do something doesn't mean that it's not safe. I mean, that doesn't mean that it's safe to be given out. Oh, it's just body temperature. You don't know what they can.
but there's not even a form to realize that this is protected and the thing. Because one of the days they're going to take all this information and send you products for you to buy. Because nobody said that you cannot do that. So you're going to see like you're going to get maybe weird calls like, hey, you bought this product for my shop. You want some more? 2 kgs of mutton? I'll send it to you.
So I think we're going to go I think you just left it another few minutes already. So we're going to discuss, what? What's this?
This is whether it's going to be like a flu or not. So this is something that whether this virus is going to be viewed as another common flu, I think probably in the next 6 months you can see that whether it's happened or not. But I think from my gut feeling, I'm going to go with Donald Trump with this lah. I think it's going to be just looking like a flu at one point, and then you're going to sit back and realize like, wow, I could be wrong, but this is
This is
what
our opinion.
my personal opinion, that end of the day you're going to see and realize like, hey, maybe it's actually just looking like a flu only, because this is going to be retrospective, because there could be things that will work, there could be things that will not work, but this is medicine. So it's called practice.
Yes. And what do you call this? What is your data on influenza and how many people with comorbids like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease dying because of influenza? Again, do you have those numbers? Is it higher than COVID?
No, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
So they just put there, this is the virus, this is causing death in people. You don't question why. I don't want to die, live in fear. That's it, without questioning. And that's the biggest thing which actually is setting you question. No question without logic, nothing there. You're just wearing, like I said, wearing mask. Tak sampai 1 meter. Orang management letak satu petak warna kuning. You ingat virus tu nak tahu ke? Tak, I tak boleh lepas warna kuning ni. Dude, where's the logic?
We have to understand, see, in terms of public, they do not know, because
Yes.
they do not know what to even question. I mean, that's
I don't blame you entirely, but that's the
but
thing.
when we share with you something, start thinking.
Yeah.
Start thinking
Question logic.
what's everything, what is actually hidden, even whether there's a lot of propagandas going on. You can question these propagandas. In fact, we question the use of whether there's a possibility of this forced use of vaccination, whether there's political agendas for a lot of this deep state thing, whether there is a big manipulation of big phones. All these possibilities are there.
There's a lot of even
But
like
you have
mainstream,
Yeah, exactly. But you have to understand, as a government, let's just say if I was the minister, I was the DG, I have to make sure that the public is still safe at the best methods and availability possible I have to do. So whatever we've done
So far,
is still the right thing done. But now we need to look in the face of, we need to have a
the
method,
next phase. What we're going to do.
how we're going to come out. Coming out is the biggest thing. You want to go in senang, now you come out.
We have done whatever during the MCO. We have played the role very well. Whatever we've been asked to do, we did. Malaysians, we did fantastic. We have brought the cases down to like what 20, even 0 in one day.
And this is now next the plan out is the exit plan. A coming exit plan is like almost like playing a 90 minutes game and making sure that you won 1-0, making sure that you exit the game with the 3 points. That's it. That's the thing. Don't screw up and let the goals come in.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Jangan bolos last minute.
Exactly. So I think before we wrap up, I think Shashi, anything you want to say to the guys?
Yes, question everything. For now, as Dr. Roland said, we are coming out of this, so question everything, whatever that you're being asked to
You hold
question.
the
Ask us if you want to ask anything, you don't know where to ask, like we said earlier before, because you don't know. Don't live in unnecessary fear. Ask us the questions. We're always here to answer you, whatever the questions are, anytime.
Look at to boost up your immunity,
Yes.
eating the right things, making sure you have proper good food, good proteins, good amount of vegetables, proper hydration. These are very good. And of course, if you choose to wear mask, choose the right time to wear it. If it's paranoia to you, use the right time when you want to wear your mask. And if you're wearing mask, please make sure you change them sufficiently. Very, very important.
Don't wash them.
If you choose not to wear mask,
Which is the best way for me to
yeah. And another thing is, don't lock yourself down too much. You have to understand that it's already almost like a summer temperature in Kuala Lumpur. It's hot. You need to go out, get some good vitamin D. That's going to really help you boost up your immunity. You need to understand that the sun itself is playing a massive role in bringing the R naughts down. In a lot of countries who have summer at the moment, we will see countries like Australia and New Zealand, South Africa, as they all get into winter. Winter now. There will be a good gauge for us to see whether is winter seasons going to spike up
the cases.
any of the cases.
Yeah.
So then we actually have a head start of what's going to happen next in the next 6 months. So get all of that, and if you can, please work out at home, charge yourself up, keep your energies good,
At the same time,
keep
please
your
don't
breathing
open.
techniques right, and if you're sitting in your car alone, don't cause hypoxia to yourself.
Yes.
Because when you cause this, technically you're strangulating yourself.
Using this, you're breathing into this thing, confined space. You are already
Reducing your oxygen intake.
Yes, exactly.
You're going to feel tired. When you're going to feel tired, you're going to increase inflammation in the body. When you increase inflammation in the body, you would decrease your immunity free of charge. So you are allowing yourself to
go into
decrease your
phase,
immunity.
yes.
And if you close yourself up and not go out at all, not exposing yourself into the sun, you decrease immunity again.
Psychologically, you're going to get infected as well because you are someone who already. Doesn't matter if you're a superb introvert, you still feel like going out and seeing. Even though you don't feel like interacting, you want to go out and see stuff. No true introvert just stays at home and just inside the shell and just stays like that. Absolutely no.
Okay, so I'm just checking on Facebook and YouTube whether we've got any questions now. On Facebook, seem to be like no questions on that side. Can you confirm? Is any no questions? Okay. On Instagram, the video console closer and go through from the top. Can you answer a couple of questions before we wrap up?
Before this.
Okay, that's good. Just go down. Some more. So we had one question earlier in regards to the washing of items that you buy.
Gyms and children's activities, our health is deteriorating. Agreed.
Manpower.
I don't see why the food in my house there's like a small bar there and it's open. So you can restrict the amount of people going to a gym. Make a pre-booking. Only maybe around 10 people in the gym at some point. I agree to that. And if you want to clean the equipment after each use, it's your responsibility. I think most gym users are responsible. And I think that you all can do that. I say open the gyms back up again.
I think what they will most likely do is they will might restrict the number of people
Yes,
coming in,
I
and
agree.
traffic coming in.
Yes,
That is-
so you book a slot and you have that 1 hour to a bunch of people. That's it. Okay? And the next one, hand sanitizer. Talk about the overuse of this.
I think I prefer to actually wash up my hands because the hand sanitizer just really dehydrates the skin, and maybe with the number of people driving drunk, I think they're drinking a lot of hand sanitizers.
I use quite a bit of
70%.
Yeah, 70% alcohol. they provided toothpicks to press the button. I got in a lift yesterday and they provided toothpicks to press the button. So you're thinking that these people who are doing these rules, thinking that you're going to get the infection from the buttons, not by being in the closed confined space. Again, this is the point of me saying that question logic again. You're not going to get because of the buttons. It's because of 10 people inside the lift that that's possible of getting.
Soon they'll be walking with sticks outside because the ground soon.
And you're going to wash your shoes every time. So the next one, I feel like numbers are not. Yes, you spoke about this. It's because the turnover time that it takes the labs to get the results. Negative effects of overuse of hand sanitizer dries out your skin. But yes, necessary for health workers. Yes, these masks are necessary for health workers more than lay person. Driving alone, don't wear mask. Done. What is this? We have to think positive. I walk to work. See, boost up your immunity. That's the best way. No other better way I see it. And that's about the questions that we have had. What's your opinion of children? What's the highest by the government?
Well, there's one thing that I felt disturbed on regards to children, whether children who were frontline workers should be separated.
I do not agree to that.
That is technically like
Double standard.
almost like a racist remark towards frontliners.
Double standard.
Double standard because the frontliners also protect themselves as much as we can when we are
out doing cares to see people.
Exactly. So if the frontliners are protecting themselves, I think to the highest possibility way with all the PPEs, gown down and everything, and you are saying that they are still high risk. There are still a lot people out there who are working in construction, contacting people who are with people who are now seen to be like higher risk clusters, who are working in frontline, anywhere, retail, non-retail business, still has a risk. The risk is still there. But having a segregation on frontliner kids, I think you have to understand that kids would have a lot of psycho-emotional issues running through. In fact, like imagine 90 days not seeing the friends, not seeing the teachers, and then like throw back to school. It's like the longest school holiday that probably we ever had like that. And also knowing the fact that not everybody's going to get to start back school first, because you're going to have like 10 to 15 kids in one single class and two separate schedules. Teachers got to work double the shift hours. You're going to open school longer, or you're going to separate
2 sessions, 3 sessions,
or cram your syllabus. All of these are things that now would be placed into context.
So as for now, I still feel the distance learning is
It's practical for a certain age group. For if you're having like kids who are like below 4 5 years old, I think tell them just go to the park and play.
Anyway, it's play school anyway.
So you still learn in so many ways.
Zero is impossible. Yes, absolute zero. Do not ever think that absolutely zero is where you're going to get to. Is there absolutely zero influenza cases anytime from 19 whatever, from the time that influenza virus were actually detected and until now? Is there a year or a flu month where there was no infections at all?
They're very simple. There will not be any GP clinics because you will not see cough and flu. They will tutup.
So that's to answer you clearly. No, never. It's not going to go to zero. It's just that how you build up your immunity back. This is going to be the most important thing. How you build up your immunity. That's it.
Right? More questions? Okay. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys got any questions, some things that you feel that you want to challenge and question everything. That's what we do here. And we're back running the clinic as usual.
So just
if you guys got anything in regards to your
cooking,
your hormones, your diet, your lifestyle,
apa je lah. Call you.
Call you. Okay, ciao.
Kita kat sini. Alright, see you guys.